Well, let's go to Nia-Malika Henderson. She's a White House reporter for Politico. And since we're talking about the style of the Obamas and of Michelle Obama, for that matter, Nia, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
It's good to be here, Katie.
We appreciate you being part of this webcast. You know, Michelle, as I mentioned earlier, Michelle Obama has a 79% approval rating, and her style really seems to be unique. What I like about her is that she has so much confidence. She doesn't seem to be nervous about being exactly who she is. She seems extremely comfortable in her own skin. If people want to criticize her clothing, she says, okay, well, I like it. I'm going to wear the outfit people criticize twice. You know, where do you think this comes from? And why do you think she's been able to handle this job so effortlessly and is making such a splash?
Yeah, the folks in the East Wing say she very much approached the job of the First Lady as herself. She didn't come to the job of the First Lady thinking that she had to be someone else. She brought with her whatever kind of interests and passions that she had. In terms of her style, I mean, I think what we see is that, like you said, she very much wears what she's comfortable with, whether it's kind of high end or low end. And we've seen so far that some of these favorites that she's picked from, like J. Crew, are flying off the shelves. Everybody wants to be, you know, kind of wear what Michelle wears.
You know, she went to Princeton and Harvard Law School, right? I mean, some working women might wonder why she's kind of adopted a more traditional role. I mean, her #1 priority, and everybody can appreciate and understand it, is getting her family settled in the White House. But are you surprised she's not sort of more in touch with her professional side, if you will?
Well, I think she very much is approaching the role of First Lady as a professional. She's in the office 2 or 3 times a week, meeting with her staff, doing events, and also coordinating with the West Wing. So on the one hand, I think some of these events, if you take, for instance, the Garden, which looks almost kind of very Laura Bush, a very domestic thing to do, there was also a political side to that. She had Tom Vilsack, the Secretary of Agriculture, out there pushing for Congress to make sure there's enough money in the budget for school kids to get healthy lunches. So, you know, it's almost like she mixes, you know, this kind of political message with a very kind of almost fluffy, what might seem like a fluffy event. You know, she's almost, you know, like moms kind of stick the medicine in the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That, in a way, is kind of the thing that she's doing as well.
And I think both she and the president seem very cognizant of the dangers of living in a cocoon. And I think you've seen a lot more outreach into the Washington community. You know, I'm from the Washington area, and I don't think we've had a president who gets out quite as much, who really kind of is as relaxed sort of as part of the Washington scene, whether it's going to a Wizards game or going out to dinner with staff members at a Washington restaurant. And that, I think, has really won them a lot of friends in the D.C. community, hasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, one of the things they've talked about with the White House is they very much want to make it the people's house. And they also talked about being good neighbors here in D.C. So you have seen them go out quite a bit into the D.C. community, whether it's for their own, you know, kind of personal pleasure, or Michelle Obama reaching out to these agencies to really, you know, get to know folks in the community and really kind of put some stakes down here in the community. We certainly didn't see that with Bush. He went out maybe a couple of times a month, and of course it was early to bed, but these folks are bringing people into the White House and also venturing out into the community.
All right. Well, Nia-Malika Henderson from Politico. Thanks, Nia, so much.
Thanks.